My name is Gregor von Laschewski and I will be the instructor for this class. I hope that you enjoy the class and we will get directly to the content. Thank you. Hello, my name is Gregor von Laschewski and today we will be talking about the class Big Data Applications and Analytics. This class is hosted also on our Open edX site, so you can actually go there and see the course content as well as the discussion lists. But the course is also completely maintained on Read the Doc via GitLab. First, I want to give you a short overview about some of our course policies and other things and the mechanisms. So let's just directly dive in. As you can know, the course is about big data applications and analytics. Sometimes this is also referred to as X informatics, where X stands for the application. Certainly we are talking about big data. We are living in a world with millions of people, or actually billions of people, and lots of data is being produced every day through environment, people, or other factors. And it requires to analyze this data in order to make progress in our society. So certainly we need to be figuring out what applications big data applies to and how do we analyze that particular data. And because the data may be big, how do we actually store the data, or how do we analyze the data on clouds, for example. The course numbers are being published in this particular overview page. Please figure out which is most suitable for your needs and enroll in this class. Meeting times are published through our enrollment system, and I have summarized them here. Students from the online course, we will probably determine a different time slot for you, and we will be opening this up. Office hours, we will change probably the hours that are published here dependent on how we are going about doing this. Most of the issues will probably be addressed in our Fridays meetings. In case we need to be meeting via, for example, the online course, we have a conference tool that you will have to test out and install. Discussions and communication, because this is a fairly large class, we have about 150 students or more than 150 students. It's important that we can effectively communicate with you, and we found that there may be a benefit of using Piazza for this. So instead of us having to answer 150 questions for each student, which is the same question, we will be answering the question once on Piazza, and 150 students can actually see that particular question. So I think that is really a good way of dealing with this. The calendar is published here. We will be making possibly slight changes to the calendar, but this is the definite calendar that you will have to look at for our class. We sometimes are being asked, as the projects are due at the beginning of December, why that is. Well, the issue is that the projects are fairly difficult to grade, and we spent a considerable amount of time on grading the projects. So if you get 150 projects on December 16th, and the grading, you expect to have a grade by that's impossible. So therefore the project will become in earlier. There will be still homework after the project is handed in, so you can't just take off for your vacation on December 2nd, but you actually do have to continue till the last day of class. A common mistake that you can make in this particular class is that you start the project too late, that you're not using GitLab for the homework submission, that you're not using the proper format for the report, that you're not using a reference management tool such as JarBref, that you're not understanding what plagiarism means, or that you have a team member in your team that doesn't perform. Remember, if you have a team and your team says, you're 3 person in the project and one of your team members is not performing, that will not be beneficial for your project because you will be graded for 3 people. If that happens, please contact us so that we can resolve this particular issue with the team together. We will be trying to work with you on this. On the other hand, it can also happen that maybe one team member takes over the project or wants to be friendly to other students to do their work. That certainly is against university policy. So please make sure that you're doing your fair share of work. In projects, we insist that you use GitLab and that you do frequent check-ins. You may need a computer for your work, obviously, but in case you do want to do larger analysis, this is probably beyond this particular course. However, we offer a small number of virtual machines on Chameleon Cloud and Future Systems, as well as if you want to use other cloud resources, you can certainly do this, but you will be responsible for your own charges. As part of the project and paper, you will receive a 50% class grade. That's a substantial grade, so you need to be spending substantial amount of time on that particular project. And it needs to be not a trivial project, in my view, to do. However, this is a beginning course, so you should not be scared, but please spend considerable amount of time. If you copy a solution from somewhere and run it, that may not be qualified as a project. You certainly need to be acknowledging that, and if that work takes all of 20 minutes, which our graders may be able to detect, I don't think that your project will be receiving a good grade. So please be careful with choosing your project. Don't make the project too complicated, but also don't make it too simple. Depending on how many members you actually have, you have a different requirement on the number of pages. Make sure you document also the work breakdown. And if you use other software, you need to be including the licensing agreements into your project, as well as commenting which portion required which license. And if you develop any new code, we assume you're doing it under Apache license, so please include that also. The term paper is similar, so depending on how many people are in your project, you need to be writing a term paper. Make sure that all of you are working. I recommend that you're using Word or LaTeX for doing the term paper. And in case you choose Word, I would recommend that you're using Microsoft, which provides via the OneDrive an online mechanism of editing Word documents. That's really nice because the team members can work on different portions and the document is similar like Google Docs. Make sure that the code repository, if you use a project, contains a simple install mechanism. We have included this here. As prerequisites, we assume that you have experience with one programming language such as Python or Java. If you do not have that, it will be up to you to spend additional time to make sure that you become an expert in programming. The programming load here in this particular class I view as modest, despite the fact that we have a project. But modest could be meaning different things to different people, so please be aware of what it actually means for you. As for the learning outcomes, certainly after this course, you will have a solid foundation for future activities that you may have here with us, as we have many other and data-related courses within the departments. Grading, already mentioned how grading is being done. We have adopted a no late homework policy. This will be giving you and us a much easier time to evaluate the homework. It is in the responsibility of the student to make sure that the homework is submitted in time. Everything will be clearly posted on Canvas and you will be receiving an email. It's important you understand the academic integrity policy. You may want to review this section and handle accordingly. The instructors are listed here. My name is Gregor von Laschewski. I will be leading the instructor groups. Many of the lectures, however, have been recorded by Jeffrey Fox, who is a distinguished professor at the university. I myself have also additional interests. I have, for example, interest in developing a cloud mesh, which is a tool to simplify virtual machine management on a variety of clouds, big data benchmarking, scientific impact on supercomputers and data centers, which analyzes publications and bibliographies and figures out how they are impacting, how they impacted the science of these areas. I also am interested in STEM activities, especially here, either big data or robotics activities. So if you have interest in any of these, you can come to me. We can have independent studies with you on these areas also together. They will all require programming, so you should be aware that this is not something to learn how to program Python, but we expect that you know how to do Python. In some cases, I would be interested in a pure paper, but the paper would be of substantial quality. One example would be Internet of Things or big data for agriculture or farming. With this, I think I've given you a substantial overview of the class policies. One thing to notice that we have all updates because we are managing the site through GitHub in GitHub, so you can easily see changes that happen from week to week and review them if you would like to.
I'm very excited that you have taken this class, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm looking forward that you get the basics of big data analytics and applications. And I'm sure this will be giving you a wonderful foundation for the classes to come. Thank you. I see you in class.